Thankfully, Leila Abubakar joins us via Zoom here on Joy News Prime. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get updates on what you've been up to. I know about Hillbury. We've been seeing disturbing videos there, and you've been talking earlier to us about the measures that have been put in place. But bring us up to speed on what you've been doing so far in terms of the revenue generation and disconnection exercise for today.
There you go.
Great.
Hi, MFR.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear now. Thank you.
Great. Just before I speak about our revenue mobilization exercise, let me make one correction. Your previous story, which also still lies within ECG. Mm-hmm. It's no longer 14 days.
Okay.
The load has been shed for 7 days already, and so we just have about 7 days more to go. It ends on the 7th of April, and so people shouldn't expect to be off 14 days. It's no longer 2 weeks. And so
we've experienced the first 7 days already. So it's still 2 weeks, but the 7 days is gone. Okay.
Yeah, it was painless because a lot of people didn't realize it. We just think it's right to inform Ghanaians that this is what is happening so that it would not come up as if we weren't being honest with our customers. We thought that Ghana Gas would finish the maintenance that they were doing much earlier, and so we're just waiting to see how far we could push them to work harder. But it seems the load of work to do is quite chunky, and so they're requesting an additional 7 days, which we are going to continue with, and so it's not going to be as horrible.
Okay, so we're expecting a timetable, even though we've experienced the first 7 days already.
It will be published online tonight and in the traditional media tomorrow. I have a hard copy here, but it's so much that I cannot actually speak on it.
If you could just let me in on my area, which is the Accra West area, what is it looking like? At least we know that on Monday we went off for 5 days, 5 hours, and now we are told that it's going to happen. So maybe just let us in on that area. What does it look like? I know it's ABC.
It will be very hard for you to see.
Okay. I get it.
You see the font size. These are all Accra, and I cannot possibly begin to look at all the names in there. It's so much. And so I think the best thing we'll do is just put it up so that people can scan through our website and get the information. We'll also publish it in the graphics.
Once we get it, we'll definitely disseminate that as well. Thank you. But let's talk about that revenue generation. So far, though, before we get into the exercise itself, so far, I know it's a revenue generation and collection, drive. Do we know how much we've made so far in terms of collection?
I may know, but I'm not allowed to speak on that.
Okay.
I think I already told Evans earlier on that I would leave that to our managing director to announce when he gets back into the country. I think it's
is it anything close? Is it anything close to what you set out to collect?
I cannot say, but it's a lot of money. It's really impressive. I'm sure you'll be impressed when you hear the numbers, and then we can go on further to talk about other things that ECG can do to maintain the momentum.
Okay,
but it's looking good. Yeah.
But in your rounds, what's the most shocking that you've seen so far ahead?
I could go on for days about that, but I think the one that affects me the most is just how much power is being stolen. We have the facilities and the networks that are going around. We invest so much in it. We invest in metering, even though we have issues with that. Our guys are on the ground 24 hours, ready to fix problems. But it looks like we have a problem in this country where people just don't want to pay for the services that we have provided. Mm-hmm. And so anything that they can do to cut down on that particular cost that they have incurred from ECG, they will do. As far as stealing, which is a criminal offense, we've been lenient for so long. I think that it's time that we look at these issues separate from all the other things that we go through and start prosecuting people seriously. Yesterday, I had reports that the team that was in Legon took 3 people to the Legon police station where they will be processed for court later. It's going to be a thing that Ghanaians should expect to see more, because the moment we catch you and we're able to prove that you have done this intentionally, you would have to face the music.
And there were some institutions, we've been talking about the Hillbury Hotel. What's really the update on it, that master disconnection that you've been embarking on? What's the latest on that?
Well, Hillbury is just one of the many hotels that we have found out to have bypassed that system. for them, theirs was more shocking because of the intentionality behind it. Because for someone to be able to dig ground, wire through, and connect directly to source, it means they were really looking at stealing power. Whereas some people give the excuse that, oh, I didn't know, the electrician that wired didn't tell me. And I mean, there are a plethora of reasons people give usually when we catch them. But this one was very, very intentional. When the engineers put the equipment around our meters, they realized there was no current flowing through. It means they had just bypassed and had, created their own service line that they were just feeding through. For how long they've been doing this, only God knows. So we are trying so much to rectify the situation with them. We have informed the region and they are taking it upon. I think our legal directorate will look into it and prosecute. Also yesterday, if you'd allow me, we went into a community near Dansuman where there is even more stealing and they are even more bold. I think it's the same for Ada as well, where when ECG finds out that these people are stealing and they disconnect, they go back to reconnect, sometimes in less than 24 hours. It is something what they're doing. It's blatant, it's criminal, and I think that we should really tackle this as a separate case. It's just that people have.
Well, this area we are told is town council line. I don't know if I'm correct, but let's talk about the safety of your officers in terms of this whole exercise, because we're told that in some instances they were threatened, others were locked up amongst others. How are we ensuring their safety?
For many of them, our customers are very understanding, especially when they know that they haven't paid their bills. And so they are open to friendly conversations and discourses when we get there.
Okay.
And what is that we have to do, we do, and we get out. For some of them, obviously, we didn't expect 100% of our customers will be so nice and understanding. What we do is that sometimes when we know the problem areas, we go in with security. Like yesterday when we were going to Pambrose, we went with policemen who were guiding us. With places that we weren't expecting there to be some hesitation in allowing us to do our work, we usually have the National Security and Ghana Police on speed dial. And we just called it. And we also informed the nearest police station to that area that we are coming in. And so please be on standby when we call, come and help us. And that was what happened at the Ghana Police, at the Ghana Post when our men were held hostage. Okay.
Leila, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you so much for your time here on the Joy News channel. Well, Leila Abubakar is the External Communications Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana. And as we speak, we'll still stay with the Electricity Company of Ghana because we know that today some staff who are supposed to have siphoned some 2 million CDs, they teamed up with prepaid vendors to steal more than 2 million CDs from the company. We're told the gang, numbering 10, have been slapped with charges including money laundering and stealing. Legal Affairs correspondent Joseph Akable joins me via Zoom with all the details from happenings in court today. Joseph, break it down for us, what actually transpired.
So the employees, 3 of them, there's one Ali Nancy Shaibu, he is a computer programmer at the ICT department at the head office here in Accra. There is also Grace Gardner, a chief supervising cashier officer at the ECG district office at Kaswa, and Anthony D.K. Kwe, a technician at the ECG district office. The other accused persons, Ibrahim Baba Ademu, a technician at Ghana Electrometer Company, Muntari Ademu, and Gariba Audu Misbao, Kwesi Apia Donko, Eric Yauche, and Augustina Lanian, who are private vendors who sold ECG prepaid power credits. And so we are told that the whole plot started with the ICT officer here in Accra, who was dispatched to go to the Volta region to resolve a prepaid connectivity challenge. It was while resolving this that he agreed with the individual who had the challenge that he was resolving for, that what we'll be doing is that I will transfer credit to you for sale. And so once he transfers the credit, he deletes the transfer from the system. And so assuming I've advanced 10,000 cedis to you MFR as a prepaid vendor, I delete it. And so the system doesn't show that you've been given 10,000 cedis. Then once you sell the 10,000 cedis, we split the money 2 ways. And so that commenced there. And he now teamed up with other vendors in different parts of the country to undertake this particular activity, leading to the theft of what ECG estimates to be 2.1 million cedis in prepaid credits.
Okay, Joseph, from your understanding then, let's talk about this software manipulation scheme that's going on at ECG.
And so we are told that it's not a situation that the software has been permanently disabled or tampered with. It simply has to do with the fact that each time they went in to do the transaction, then they cleared they cleared their footprints in there just to make sure that the transaction is not seen. And so that afforded them the opportunity to be able to sell credits and make money on the blind side of the public. And so what ended up coming into the ECG's coffers was very minimal, and the head office, which has the mandates at various levels. So if you go to the district office to be monitoring the vending points within, could not even see that such transactions were taking place.
And we understand some monies have been refunded?
More than 200,000 cedis. According to the prosecutors, once these 10 individuals were arrested in the course of investigations, they admitted to their crime and refunded a little over 200,000 cedis. The other point is that the investigators have been able to identify about 3 vehicles, as well as 2 houses belonging to some of the accused persons, which the prosecutors believe that they acquired them using the proceeds of this particular crime. And so it is for this reason, that's why the charge of money laundering has been leveled against some of them. But interestingly, when the charges were read against them in court, all 10 accused persons pleaded not guilty. And so that is it. So the case will have to go at the full haul and is back in court on April 27.
We'll stay in court, but Joseph, just before I let you go, on a lighter note, please don't be giving examples about transferring money to me, okay? I'll take you up on that. Thank you very much, Joseph. We'll stay on.